This headline today, this is a thing of beauty. This is catastrophic. Seattle payroll tax revenues $47 million short as jobs leave the city. Remember that whole Tax Amazon initiative? Yeah, well, Seattle's done that, and they've done a splendid job to the point where their budget is way down based on estimated projected revenues because businesses are taking their jobs out of Seattle. Shocker. Shocker that this is happening. More progressive political policy that has done the polar opposite of its intention. Let's drive more money into the city. Oh, they're leaving? I don't get it. I don't understand how this is happening. Let's get into it. Here we go. You see enough of this policy? And literally right now, Democrats in Olympia for the state of Washington, they want to lob in a whole bunch of new taxes, and they think this is the most balanced way to handle it. And you're like, no, people with high net worth, people running businesses, they're going to get the F out of Dodge. That's what they do. And that's literally what we are covering here. Seattle Mayor Bruce Harrell released his payroll expense report for 2024 Tuesday, and its projections came up nearly $50 million short. Yeah, why did they come up short? Well, today's announcement that pet revenues required in 2024 were $47 million lower than projected requires action to ensure our budget remains balanced. They went with the status quo. They went with, well, we think this income stream is coming in. Come to find out, a bunch of businesses is left. Weird. All those people on the right in Washington state who basically don't have a voice because we have just a bunch of mentally challenged people who think that putting progressive policy in place is really going to get us where we need to go. How's that working out for you, numbnuts? Payroll said that his 2025 budget proposal was based on the projections from Independent Office of Economic and Revenue Forecasts, but since they got it wrong, what? They got it wrong? You're off by 47 million. Oh, you got it wrong by 47 million. Ooh. But since the office got it wrong, the mayor said for the 2026 budget, my office will consider all options, including additional revenue sources and appropriate expense reductions to make sure that we're making the priority investments and funding the essential services that matter to our residents. But we can't really count on that payroll tax revenue because, lo and behold, not enough of it is coming in, and jobs are leaving. Jobs are leaving. Payroll tax is levied on large corporations in the city like Amazon and Expedia. Such a steep revenue forecast error suggests that high-paying companies or their jobs are leaving the city. It's precisely why KTTH host Jason Rantz called the news catastrophic in a thread on X. Let's take a look at that. There's something funny about trying to turn your screw up into a controversy about Trump. This is catastrophic. Seattle collected $47 million fewer dollars from revenue than they thought while already facing a deficit. It's such basic stuff. If you tax people, if you try and propose unrealized capital gains taxes on wealthy folks on their stock trades, they're going to say, yeah, I got 3 or 4 homes. My primary residence is going to be in Texas. My primary residence is going to be in Florida. My primary residence is not going to be in Washington. And that's what you're seeing on this topic here. You are seeing the exact same damn thing, but happening on a corporate basis with big employers who are saying, no, we're not paying your stupid corporate tax. We're not doing the payroll corporate tax. We're taking our jobs here. What people haven't realized yet, but soon will, is that the sharp drop in payroll tax revenue means jobs are leaving Seattle, Rantz explained. The whole point of the PET was to squeeze free money out of businesses because the city arrogantly assumed it held all the cards. But what did PET actually do? What did it actually do? We've been talking about this for a long time. It pushed Amazon jobs from Seattle to Bellevue. We have seen that happen continuously. 10,000 jobs from Seattle to Bellevue. Hey, headquarters too in Seattle? No, I don't think so. Let's take it to New York. AOC says, no, you guys keep your capitalism to yourselves. So this tax literally pushed Amazon jobs to Bellevue, kept employees working from home and out of Seattle, and helped fuel layoffs at companies hit hardest by the tax, like Expedia. Bellevue doesn't have this tax, and we're literally, 10 miles away, divided by a big lake. We're 10 miles away from Seattle, but we have totally different policies. Pro-business, don't have all the lunatic far-left extremists or even moderate left-wing extremists who are so anti-capitalism that they can't understand that so much of their income stream that comes into city of Seattle, those are jobs that are dependent on being there. And when they're not, you guys don't have money for all of your ridiculous socialist programs. Next section, jobs are leaving Seattle. Even Harrell acknowledged, our Mayor Harrell acknowledged, this decrease in revenue is aligned with recent reports of major employers moving thousands of high-paying jobs out of Seattle and to other cities in our region. This is our mayor saying this. And yet, we've got legislators in Olympia right now going through a laundry list of additional taxes that will push more and more people out of Washington state. But let's not focus on reality. Let's just go ahead and we'll just go down that road of, it seems like a good idea. We can squeeze some money out of them. We are literally looking at the end result of that. What happens when you do a payroll tax? What happens? Hashtag tax Amazon. What happens when you do that? End result right here. Right here. Large corporations should pay their fair share, and we should be wary when they use job placements to avoid funding for what our communities rely on. But we must also recognize businesses will make choices based on their bottom line, Harrell wrote in his statement. Businesses will make choices based on their bottom line. And that is so much of what Democrats don't understand, is that businesses, especially successful, wealthy ones, they don't have to be in Washington. People with high net worths don't need to be in Washington. They have options. They can go elsewhere. So Harrell goes on to say, we need to design our tax policies with the full context of our economy and a comprehensive view that ensures we raise the revenue needed to support. Are you bored yet? I'm bored. Because it's a bunch of psychobabble doublespeak, isn't it? Hey. If you raise taxes on a certain level of business, they're going to say, bye-bye. And that's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. So we raise the revenue needed to support all of our residents in a progressive way. That's the problem here, Bruce, is you've got this progressive way. Progressive ways don't work. They just don't work. You're going to end up just literally pulling out that gun over and over and shooting yourself right in the foot. Right? Just shot after shot. God, that hurt again. Rance called Harrell's response strategically naive. Absolutely. But he's got to. He's the mayor. Hey, Bruce, you got a budget deficit there because you had some tax policy that, businesses, they said no with their employment schedules. And they said, nope, ship them over to Bellevue. No tax there. F you, Seattle. Businesses pay far more than their fair share and offer Seattleites high salaries that the city uses on wasteful, ineffective programs. 100% true, Rance explained. Harrell knows big business already pays their fair share, but offers his silly quote to try to villainize them. It's the big corporations. They're the ones funding all of this absolute ridiculousness, right? While lionizing his own efforts to go after the businesses he pretends are greedy, but you need their money so badly. And that's why you're clamoring to get everybody back into downtown, because you need the whole ecosystem to work. And right now it's not. And now you've got yet another drain on your income. You need to cut those expenses. But he's the greedy one. He wants more money that he didn't earn so he can continue to misspend it. Yeah. alongside with the folks down in Olympia, alongside with the folks on Seattle Council. We've got some reasonable people, but not enough. They all think that this progressive policy is really going to help them out. And it doesn't. It just simply doesn't work, because reality doesn't work in such a way that when you target a band of businesses that drive in a lot of your income and you push them away, that's F around and find out, right? That's literally what you're doing. Hey, let's F around with Amazon. Let's F around with Microsoft. Let's F around with and find out what happens. This is what happens. And he'll target businesses as greedy or deceitful so it can help his re-election campaign. Well, I got to blame it on somebody, right? You can't blame it on your own stupid decisions. You can't blame it on tax Amazon, because then maybe we shouldn't do that in the future. Now, we're just going to keep doing the same thing. You'll drive more revenue out of Seattle. I'll have more podcasts. It's the endless cycle, right? It's the endless cycle of nonsense that you experience in a progressive city. So much progress, so much progress. He noted that the Seattle payroll tax idea may go statewide with the budget proposal from Washington Democrats. Yeah, it's working so well that why don't we just throw it out there statewide and, we'll just tag a whole bunch of businesses who will say, not so much. You've got California 2.0 happening right here, right now. Got a whole bunch of people that aren't going to stick around for retirement, myself included. We're going to get the heck out of Dodge, and we're all going to go to like Texas or somewhere. Tennessee. I don't know. Idaho. Don't know. Not sure where I'm going to go, but there's enough juice left in the progressive ideology and what's going to happen to Seattle and what's going to happen to Washington that I'm going to stick around and do the Lord's work for a while longer, because podcasts like this don't just pop up, and they especially don't pop up in Texas, because they don't have ridiculous ideology of, hey, let's just specifically go after these folks, and they're greedy corporate bastards. Oh, yeah, that revenue isn't coming in. What are we going to do there? Republican State Representative Chris Corey of Yakima took notice of the payroll woes in Seattle. He posted, paging literally everyone in Olympia. Look what's going on. They won't, because they're going to say, well, that's a Seattle thing. This is statewide. We think we can get away with it. Okay. Yeah. We'll podcast that in a couple of years. Remember that one tax that they threw out there and said it's going to be fine. Only businesses will be impacted. Oh, come to find out. Oh, that didn't go our way. Cairo News Radio political analyst Matt Markovic says the revenue drop is concerning, but notes that the $47 million can be made up in the next budget cycle. So what you'll see from Democrats here in Washington is that's a concern. We have concerns over the jobs being taken out of Seattle, but we know what's happening. It's a factor. Never mind the whole, having office space in downtown Seattle is just basically a no-go anymore. Nobody wants to be there because you have unsafe street conditions. Same thing in San Francisco. Same thing in downtown LA. Same damn thing in Portland, Oregon. Portland, Oregon right now has pretty good sized lawsuits being thrown back and forth on the Ritz-Carlton complex, the building that houses the Ritz-Carlton in downtown Portland, which was opened up a couple of years ago. I mean, think about that. A Ritz-Carlton in downtown Portland, almost in the center. It's a handful of blocks away from the park that I went to. There's a series of 3 parks, and you got a federal building right there where, the nut job hardcore left wingers were trying to light a federal building on fire for about 150 days. Well, some genius with Ritz-Carlton decided, we're going to put up a really big building. It's going to be great. They've sold like 12 out of 130 condo units. I mean, and they've got like 23% occupancy of commercial space. Thing's a total disaster. And it's another thing, like if you don't have street conditions that are good, You don't have good tax policy. If you're not encouraging businesses, guess what's going to happen? Reality is just going to spank you on the ass. And City of Portland is basically got this building that the primary lender, Ready Capital, is saying, we're going to foreclose on this bad boy. And so now lawsuit by mezzanine lender has basically said, well, we're going to lose our $47 million on the $600 million project. That is reality biting you in the ass, because putting a Ritz-Carlton in the middle of downtown Portland was a terrible idea. Taxing the big businesses that bring all the jobs in and provide all the revenue and make everything go, taxing those companies specifically, terrible idea. But it's going to happen, and this is just how it rolls out. So you got lawsuits flying. You got people going, I don't understand why the downtown cores aren't more busy. Why don't we have more big businesses placing jobs there? Why aren't they taking up more corporate space? Well, in downtown Seattle, this is why. They don't want to pay more in taxes. And then leadership goes, well, it's concerning. I'm concerned. Not concerned enough to make a difference and actually change policy and maybe redirect things, because Seattle's basically socialist, right? You got this major socialist influence here that is really a mindset, when you apply it to a capitalist society, that doesn't work. Socialism works for those who don't. It's a coffee cup you can buy on our merch site. All right. That's it for me on this one. Thanks so much for being here. Seattle, just going down crazy train further, interrupted by various moments of clarity. Hey, you lost a bunch of jobs. Oh, weird. That's what you get. It's what you get with big blue progressive policy. That's it for me. Thanks again for being here. Catch up with you in the next one. Bye for now.